virtual jobs recruitment fair for here in Queens, the Borough families. We are delighted that you are joining us. We've got an illustrious panel of employers and recruiters here, eager to hire folks here in the Borough families. I see that folks are still tuning in. If you didn't catch it at the very beginning, and you would like to know the list of speakers and featured employers, check out our website, queensbp.org/recruitment fair. We will be streaming live in just a few minutes, and we will begin once we are live. But on that website, you will see the list of speakers today, the employers, the recruiters. And for folks who are tuning in into the Zoom webinar, we welcome Q&A. The bulk of today will be reserved for the Q&A after we hear from each of the panelists. So we will encourage everyone to funnel their questions into the Q&A chat room, not just in the webinar chat, as we listen to our recruiters and our employers. Borough Hall team, let me know when we're live. I see the numbers are climbing of people who are in the room. We're clocking at a little over 227. We do anticipate the number to be much higher. This is our third, council member, our former council member, Annabelle Palma. Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
For folks in the room, both our panelists as well as folks joining in and tuning in, this is our third virtual jobs recruitment fair. We've been holding this every 3 weeks on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's become a regular thing for many of our panelists in the room, or I should say employers and recruiters in the room. Just so you know, our very first job fair on April 22nd in the middle of the pandemic, which we are still in, April 22nd, we had an RSVP count of a little around 600. 3 weeks later in May, we had a little shy of 900. For today's job fair, we have over 1,000 RSVPs.
We're ready to go, Borough President.
Okay, are we live now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live on queensbp.org/recruitment fair. Welcome to Queensborough Hall virtually. We are delighted to present this jobs recruitment fair virtually for the Borough of Queens. We call ourselves the Borough Families. And we know that the pandemic, specifically we should specify which pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has devastated our workforce, has certainly hit our economy very hard, but we are eager to build toward the road to recovery for our borough, city, state, and nation. There are numerous job opportunities for folks who are looking, who are eager. These are essential jobs that we are highlighting here for the Borough families. For some who have joined us before, you may recognize some of our panelists today, our recruiters and our employers. We also have some featured new additions to our illustrious list of continuing employers and recruiters. So we welcome you. We will hear from you first. But for those who are tuning in, now that we are live, if you would like to take a look at who is speaking, who is recruiting, take a look at queensbp.org/recruitment fair. Again, we are streaming live right now, and we will have this available as well and recording. For those who are in the room and who joined, I encourage you to funnel your questions into the Q&A. We will hear from all of the speakers first, very brief remarks to introduce themselves, maybe for the next 15, 20 minutes, and then the remaining 60 minutes we will try to reserve for an interactive Q&A for people who are logging in from the public for any and all questions. Right now, our login count is at about 290. We do anticipate that number to go higher. And then without further ado, let's start the program. First up, as you can see from the queensbp.org/recruitment fair program, we've got Mary Duperval. She is here with us from Queens College. A lot of folks are talking about how their academic calendar is being impacted and their academic careers are being impacted by the pandemic. Many people, many families are opting really, CUNY, for example, is becoming much more attractive for the upcoming school year. And so we know that many of the CUNY institutions have been much busier than normal. That's a good problem to have. And we know that they're hiring and hiring aggressively. So today, one of our first featured employers is Queens College. Queens College is moving and shaking here in the Borough of Families. And we've got Mary Duperval. She is the HR recruiter and training specialist from Queens College. Ms. Duperval, welcome, and please unmute yourself.
Thank you for having us, Borough President. It's a pleasure to be here. This is our first one, and we hope to be back again. So thank you for definitely welcoming us into the family with the rest of the recruiters. I'll just give you a brief overview for those of you who aren't aware where Queens College is. We're an 80-acre campus in the middle of Flushing, Queens. I think that was my first attraction to the campus, was how it was closed off and it gave you that campus feel. But one thing we do pride ourselves in is, I can say for myself, is how we do love our employees, and we do want to make sure that as far as benefits wise, our benefits, if you do apply to us, one of the things that you can definitely look forward to is we do offer tuition waivers, retirement plans. There are a list of ongoing, and I sent over that document, which I'll drop into the chat later, so you can have an overview of the type of benefits that working at Queens College will provide. We are one of the 24 campuses, we're one of the 24 campuses under the umbrella of the City University of New York. I'll talk about currently, because like you clearly mentioned, because of the pandemic, we have seen a slowdown, but we are expecting that to increase over time. Some of the positions that we currently do have available is we have a professorial line. We're looking for a Dean of Math and Natural Science. We're also looking for an associate or a full professor in our graduate and library studies program. We're also looking to see if there's anyone out there for our, as an academic program specialist for a study abroad program. So we do have positions that are available. There's ongoing continuous recruitment for our campus security assistant, which is our security department, our public safety department. Division. We are looking for people. That is the continuous recruitment. So there is an exam that has to be taken for that, and that's online as well. So you take that exam and your name gets placed on. So as you know, there are different positions that we are looking for, and I'm anticipating and hoping that those the positions and the numbers that we are recruiting for will go up as time goes by. As he clearly says, our enrollment is going up, so we are going to be looking for more positions. The requirements for each positions varies. If you look at our professorial lines, you'll see that a PhD for some of them is required. You will also see that in our administrative positions, the minimum when you're coming in will be a bachelor's and maybe a little bit of experience. But I always encourage applicants to make sure that they read through that job description and put their best foot forward, because we do review the application processes, that every application that comes in gets reviewed. So we review each application that comes in, and we do our due diligence to select the best fit candidate for each positions. I can give you that vote of confidence, is we do review each application and we make sure that we select the best. The best way to apply right now is our website is going to be undergoing some repairs and renovation. So the best way to apply is you can definitely go to cuny.jobs. Cuny.jobs gives you, why I love going that way, that route, is because it gives you not just Queens College, but you get to see Staten Island, all of the CUNY campuses and what CUNY has to offer. So you aren't just limited to Queens College. If you live closer to Staten Island, if you live closer to Brooklyn, wherever you are, Queens College is there, Queens Borough is there as well. So you can actually get to see all of the jobs that are available. Once you go to CUNY.jobs, you can filter by location and select Queens College. When you select that, there'll be a vast number of positions that are available, and you just have to click on the Apply Now button. Whatever position that you feel that you best fit for, you click on the Apply Now button and you apply. So I'll drop all that information, and you're welcome to send us your resumes for review for different positions as they come up as well. So.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Duperval, and congratulations to Queens College. Your incoming president-designate, Frank Wu, is a nationally recognized, internationally recognized voice on many, many issues. And so he's certainly a get for both Queens College, the CUNY system, and of course, the Borough of Queens. So congratulations on that. Thank you again for that presentation. I'm sure we have many, many questions from the public. We'll move right along. Up next will be the USTA, the United States Tenants Association. Queens is known as the home of the US Open. And while August seems like lifetimes away and doesn't feel like in the middle of this pandemic and righteous eruptions in an epidemic on police brutality and Black Lives Matter and for justice, notwithstanding all of that, we are hopeful that the US Open will still be on track for August in some way, shape, or form. And we are encouraged by the USTA's eagerness to recruit, especially here in Queens, because we are so proud of the US Open and being home to the US Open. So with that, we have the USTA. We have several HR recruiters, actually. We have Brittany Padmore and Allison Sakiotis. And just a quick note, as of now, we have about 339 participants here in the Zoom webinar. And I'm sure folks are also tuning in live at queensbp.org/recruitment fair. For those who are just signing in to the Zoom webinar, we will remind you that the program and the list of featured employers and recruiters for today's jobs fair is listed on that website, queensbp.org/recruitment fair, just so that you know which way we're going and what to look forward to. And with that, the USTA, welcome.
So much for that, Ms. Jeremy. I really appreciate it. As she mentioned, my name is Brittany Padmore. I'm here with my colleague, Allison Sakiotis. A little bit about myself. I've been with the company for the past 6 years. I started off as a team member, a staff member on the front line, and I've been able to move my way up to recruiter. So I've made that full circle moment. I'm able to give back, which speaks volume and what Queens is and just giving back to the community. The US Open, it's the epicenter of what, a melting pot of culture is. You think New York, you think a melting pot of different cultures, traditions, people from all over the world, and that's exactly what we represent. I like to compare it to Disney World as the experience is magical. It's beautiful. You have your flowers and trees, and then you have people who strive to make your experience the best experience as possible, no matter if you've been going for 20 years or 1 year. Your last year there's going to be your most memorable. So we strive to provide that for our guests. I want to touch on diversity. As I mentioned, our staff reflects that diversity that you see within our guests. You don't have to be a tennis fan. You just have to be a person who prioritizes, customer service and striving to serve people as best as you can. I'm the recruiter for the guest services department. And so what that means is, we provide, the best customer service experience and just helping each other and working in teams and making sure that, each individual is noted as an individual and not just another guest at the US Open. In terms of the pandemic, I know things are a bit up in the air. We're wondering if we're still happening. It's still business as usual, or we're still scheduled for our August 24th to September 13th dates. However, look out for a release statement around mid-June involving, the official dates or if it will be postponed or canceled or anything like that. I want to mention that Allison is the recruiter for our facility operations department, and she can touch base on that a little bit too.
So yeah, thanks, Britt. I think Britt did a great job of kind of
going over what goes into the US Open. The facilities department, I think no matter what happens with the tournament or what kind of decision is made, you know, these positions are still going to be needed. They're essential in putting on the tournament. The facilities area, there's, you know, everything from cleaning positions, suite cleaners. We have some facilities events people who kind of help with like event day of sort of needs. We also hire we have some customer service roles in the ticket office. We encourage everyone to apply. If you're available during that time, feel free to reach out and we'll see where you could be a good fit. I'm going to send a link to our jobs page in the chat now, as well as our contact information.
Yep, and I do want to touch on the hiring process if you're unfamiliar. So we can provide our emails, and once we provide our emails, you can send your resume directly to our emails, and we'll reach out to you as soon as we can. We are definitely right in the bulk of the hiring process, and so once you're in, and we're looking forward to speaking and meeting many of you in the upcoming season.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Padmore. Thank you, Ms. Sakiotis. I'm sure we have many questions from the public about those opportunities for the U.S. Open, but we are, again, delighted that you're here and that you're recruiting aggressively here in Queens, as you should. Up next, we have, let's see, another featured employer today, the Young Adult Institute. The YAI, also known as YAI. They are looking for positions and support services for people with physical and or intellectual disabilities or differently abled folks. We are so glad you're here. Just a check on the number of folks who are logged in. We have a little over 350 people who are logged into the Zoom right now in the webinar. We also have a number of folks tuning in to the live stream online. For folks who are just tuning in, www.queensbp.org/recruitment fair is where you will have the list of featured speakers, specifically the employers and recruiters for jobs and essential jobs that are hiring now. Before I turn it over real quick, just a reminder from one of our people who were in the chat room, for the 350 plus folks, I urge you while you're listening, check out the census if you haven't already. And if you're in Queens especially, but wherever you are, make sure you fill out your census. my2020census.gov. We are pushing hard for all of Queens to be counted so that we get our fair share, both in resources and representation. And with that, I will turn it over to YAI Assistant Manager, Andrej Drofenik. Hi, Mr. Drofenik, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Borough President. Thank you so much for having us here today. And hello, everyone. My name is Andrej Drofenik. I'm the Assistant Manager of Human Resources here at YAI. I've been at YAI for 13 years now. I started out as a direct support professional, which is the majority of the opportunities that we have available here at YAI. Here we provide services for adults with intellectual and children with adults and children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We started back in 1957 with 2 people in Brooklyn, and we've grown, and now today we have over 4,000 employees, and we provide services to about 20,000 individuals with disabilities. We're located in downstate New York. We're throughout Long Island, the boroughs, Westchester, New Jersey, and we also recently opened up locations in San Jose, California as well. We're committed to basically be providing quality services to people with disabilities. The direct support professional position is the position that we mainly recruit for. And for those people, the responsibility is to work hands-on with the people we support, teaching them everyday living skills, promoting independence, and also giving them the tools necessary to live a more fulfilled, independent life. So in regards to different opportunities, we do have full-time and part-time opportunities available in Queens. We are also located in other regions as well, so we have other opportunities to explore. I'm going to be dropping the link in the chat option, so that this way people can apply directly to yi.org/careers. The minimum qualifications for a direct support professional coming into YI would be either a high school diploma or GED, and the majority of the positions do require a valid driver's license. So here at YI, we really do focus on empowering people with disabilities lives and making sure that they're empowered to live their life as they want to. We believe in a person-centered model. So the people that we support are at the helm of their treatment, and we're there to work together to provide them that type of support. The types of locations or places that we have are residential group homes or day habilitation centers. Right now, we are continuing to recruit for DSPs or direct support professionals to work hands-on with the people we support. We have worked with, transitioning over to a virtual model when it comes to training and also interviewing as well. However, we are essential staff here at YI, so we do have our staff that are working now currently. I thank you so much, Borough President, and the rest of your team for having YI be a part of this, and we're looking forward to continuing participating in your virtual events moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Drofenik. And thanks again to our new recruiters and employers. This is our third virtual Queens jobs recruitment fair that we've had. We hold them every 3 weeks on a Wednesday, 2 p.m. And the numbers have been growing for various reasons that we're all aware of. But it does make a big difference for employers, you yourselves being here. You are the face of your firm, company, organization, institution that is hiring. And so we are delighted that you're here to spend that time to recruit here in the Borough families. Up next, another very timely recruiter and employer. We are still very much in the middle of a pandemic, and efforts like this is critical to our road to recovery and rebuild, especially here in the Borough of Queens. We have been the unenviable marker of being the epicenter of this pandemic. But we are clawing our way to recovery and rebuild. And part of that rebuild and recovery is the test and trace core for the city of New York. And so we are absolutely delighted to welcome here today the Chief Equity Officer of the city's COVID-19 Test and Trace Core, someone who is no stranger to public service. She is a former city council member serving in the New York City Council and now doing just incredible things, and one of the most critical things for our city's recovery and rebuild effort, which is the Test and Trace Core. The Honorable Annabelle Palma, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, BP Lee, for putting this together, and welcome everyone who's participating. I'm Annabelle Palma, as BP Lee mentioned. I served 14 years in the New York City Council, and then became part of the administration at the Department of Social Services, where I led the initiatives for the Department of the new initiatives for the Department of Homeless Services. I am now in this humble position to be able to be the Chief Equity Officer at the Test and Trace, New York City's Test and Trace Corps. And what that means is that we recommend that every New Yorker in the midst of this pandemic is being gets tested and shares with us who they have come in contact with, so we're able to trace who they've been in contact with and offer the services that they need to be able to get them on a healthy road back when we reopen New York City. We have over 150 locations at the moment where we're doing testing, and those locations you can find near the nearest location you can find to you if you go to nyc.gov /COVID test, or by calling 311, you'll be able to know where one of those locations are. If you test positive, you will be contacted by one of our tracers, and this is the tracers will ensure that you are connected to services. I think this is the critical piece of this. The critical piece of this program is that we want the community to be involved in this every step of the way. It is crucial to build those partnerships in the community. And so we are encouraging people from the community, especially those hardest hit communities, to become tracers to apply for these jobs. These are opportunities to make sure that the communities that have been hardest are represented by those who live in those communities. The best community engagement specialists are made by those who live in the community. They know their neighbors, they know their neighborhoods, they know what happens on a daily basis. And so we are encouraging folks to become community engagement specialists. And these individuals will again ensure that folks are getting tested, ensure that if anyone has come within 6 feet within 6 feet of someone who may have have COVID, and for more than 10 minutes, that they come in, they get tested, that we trace their contacts, that we give them the information that they need to receive services like meals, hotel accommodation, so they can safely isolate and again get with the goal to getting them back to a healthy environment. Right now we've hired 1,700 individuals on our team. We expect that number to grow to up to 5,000 by August 1st. For me, it is extremely important that the community engagement specialists reflect the people that live in the community. This is about building trust. This is about letting the community know that we are here to help them, that this is not I am watching what you're doing kind of program, but a serious program to help us reopen New York in the safest way possible so that we can prevent this from happening in the future. And, I was born and raised in the community that I represent, as many of our viewers or participants are as well. And we know that it's during crucial times like this, especially when people have lost so many jobs, we're counting on communities to help us build back what we've lost in a matter of 2 months, right? And in a matter of a week. And so again, I encourage everyone who's participating today, if you're interested in becoming a community engagement specialist, to apply. You can, I send over the information on where folks can apply for this job, for the jobs, but I will share again where they can apply. Right now, we have over half of our tracers come from the 50 hardest hit zip codes, and we have over 40 languages that are being spoken by our team. So we are making sure that we cover all our bases, that we are being very inclusive and very sensitive, especially around culture issues when it comes to this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Palma, or former Councilmember Palma. Again, very good to see you. I just want to emphasize what the former Councilmember is saying about the critical contact tracing and testing that is just absolutely critical in our ability to recover and rebuild. All the jobs that we were just talking about, jobs at Queens College in the upcoming academic year, the USTA, all of those things will not be able to happen unless we keep the curve bending. The curve of the pandemic bending, and contact tracing and testing is critical to keeping that curve bent and having us on this road to recovery and rebuild. And the success of that contact tracing and testing hinges on exactly what Annabelle Palma just mentioned, which is trust. And so we are eager to make sure that people in our communities, every corner of the largest borough in the city of New York, in Queens, here in the epicenter of the epicenter, we urge you to apply for these contact tracing and testing jobs. I see that folks are typing some questions into the webinar chat. We're delighted and excited that you are engaged. I ask you to copy and paste your questions into the Q&A chat room, just so that we have it all in one place and we don't miss it. We will be opening it up to Q&A momentarily. We have a few more distinguished employers and recruiters who are going to be talking about more of the jobs that are available and eagerly, aggressively recruiting here in the borough families. I'm going to ask my team at Borough Hall, who are also on the line. I see that our panelists have put in their contact information into the chat room, but I'm going to ask our team to also copy that information and put it onto our website, queensbp.org/recruitment fair. Again, that is where you can find the list of our employers and recruiters at this virtual Queens Jobs Recruitment Fair. And again, we've been having these every 3 weeks on a Wednesday, typically at 2 o'clock. We'll certainly let you know when the next one is. Up next, someone who is returning to recruit in Queens, because where else would you recruit? And it is the Council for Airport Opportunities. Queens is home to both, not just two, but both of the City of New York's airports, Kennedy and LaGuardia. And so we've got a strong partnership with the Council for Airport Opportunity. And of course, the Director of Business Development at the CAO is none other than Verdia Noel. Ms. Noel, welcome back, and thank you for recruiting and keeping those jobs here in Queens.
Thank you, Borough President Lee. Thank you so much for the invitation to return, and it's always a pleasure. We indeed recruit throughout the Borough of Queens for 2 major airports, which are JFK and LaGuardia. And at the present time, we do have positions that are available at both. Just to give those who are watching a sense of who the Council for Airport Opportunity is and what we do. We are a nonprofit trade organization established in 1972 by the airlines and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Our mission, however, is to identify those needs within the communities and work with partners within the aviation industry to fill the positions that become available. And throughout this period, this pandemic time that we're witnessing and we're on a journey with right now, there are still jobs at airports in the New York area, as well as New Jersey at Newark Airport. However, I'd just like to list some of those positions so that I can explain to you how you can apply. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, our offices are closed, but we continue to recruit virtually, remotely. We're registering people, we're doing pre-screening for the jobs that are available, and we're giving you the best information that we have on how to apply, how to meet with the employers, and what you need to do to get started. So for those positions that are available now, and we thank you, Borough President, for this platform, because we've received a lot of interest in the various jobs that we've talked about on this forum. We're currently looking for warehouse associates and aircraft cargo handlers. We're looking for ramp service agents. We have a need for a supervisor or supervisors of cargo ramp services. We need CDL drivers, A and B, and a dispatcher at JFK Airport, as well as general service maintainers. Most of those jobs are descriptive by name, but for general maintainers, those are the individuals who are hired seasonally, sometimes yearly. All these positions are full-time, and they are the ones who take care of the facilities and the airport grounds to make sure it's beautiful when our passengers arrive. At LaGuardia Airport, we're currently looking for general maintainers there as well. We have a number of security positions. We're looking for a construction manager. We're looking for bus drivers, those with CDL A and B. We're also looking for, very soon, recruiting for crew members for restaurant at LaGuardia. And we hope to be able to get those of you who are watching today to register as soon as you can with the Council for Airport Opportunity at www.caonynj.com. That's our website. You can call the New York office for CAO at 718-523-7100. That we will have an account manager who is available to assist you upon your call. Several account managers are working as we speak today. Those positions are available now, and as we recruit every week, these positions are rolling around every week because we need a number of those positions to be filled. before summer season. So again, I thank Borough President Lee and staff for having the Council for Airport Opportunity again. We return because we're still recruiting. And even though the situation may not be what we would expect or what we would normally anticipate during these times, we are here for you, and we are continuing the work that we would provide normally in our offices. So when we return there, we hope to see some of you. But in the meantime, go to www.caonynj.com. Navigate to the airport that you're interested in, which could be JFK, LaGuardia, or Newark, and then indicate the job that you're interested in pursuing. With that being said, again, thank you all so much for having us today. And we look forward to being able to share these positions with your viewers in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Noel. And again, the ports are going to be critical in our recovery and in our rebuild, both city, state, borough, and certainly in the region. So thank you. Up next, we have the Queens Centers for Progress, another returning employer who is aggressively recruiting here in the borough families. I will remind folks who are logged into the webinar, please direct your questions into the Q&A chat room. We will open it up shortly to the Q&A, but your question will not be answered if it's stuck in the webinar chat room, because we are centralizing all the questions into the Q&A chat room. And with that, Michelle Jenkins, Assistant Director of Human Resources at the Queens Centers for Progress. Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for having us again. As the borough president's already made the introduction, I'm Michelle Jenkins, Assistant Director of Human Resources for Queens Centers for Progress. We are a nonprofit organization that's been around for 70 years. Our mission is to focus on providing person-centered supports for individuals, adults, as well as children with developmental disabilities. I'd like to thank the Sharon Lee, as well as her office, and Queens Chamber of Commerce for inviting us and for having a virtual event such as this. We hope to be able to assist in getting people back to work, because that's so important. I'd like to appeal to all those people who are on unemployment. I know that's a short-term situation, and hopefully that Queens Centers for Progress will be able to help you with your long-term goal, and that is to obtain gainful employment so that you can support your family. What Queens Centers for Progress has to offer is a comprehensive benefits package. For example, 18 vacation days, 8 sick, 4 personal, 12 paid holidays, medical, dental, pension plan, tax deferred annuity, employee assistance program, life insurance, and tuition reimbursement for bachelor's as well as a master's degree in the field of human services. And that's so important because we believe in investing in our people so that they can be promoted into other positions. With that being said, the highlights that I am to discuss today about employment career opportunities with Queens Centers for Progress is our essential workers. That is the direct support professionals. They have been the stella of the agency, keeping us in whole. Because with the pandemic and shelter in place, residential is thriving, and we are actively recruiting for direct support professionals. That is the heart and soul of Queens Centers for Progress. You would be assisting individuals in their home with goals. Goals are very important. For example, money management, travel training, communication, interpersonal. We're looking for people with skills and talents, arts and craft that would be willing to come in and do activities with our guys. They thrive in that. It's about person-centered. We're looking at their hopes, their dreams, and how we can build on that and make them flourish. We've had individuals from 21 years up until 90 years old. That means we're doing something right. So I appeal to people who've never worked in the field before. We would provide ample training that would help you flourish into the field of human services with Queens Centers for Progress. To qualify for those positions, high school diploma, GED, and yes, a driver's license for 3 years. If you don't have that or close to 3 years, we'll wait for you. So please feel free to apply for that. And in regards to shifts that we have available, we have overnights, 12 midnight to 8 a.m. We have evenings, 4 p.m. to 12, and people who just want to come for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. It's a great opportunity for all those college grads that just came out of school. And right now with the pandemic and unprecedented times, it's like, where do I go? Well, stop at Queens Centers for Progress and see what we have available for you. It would be a great learning opportunity at this point. Besides direct support, we also have a residential supervisor. That would be someone with a BA degree in human services and approximately 2 years in the field of OPWDD. That person would be overseeing the day-to-day operations of a 10-bed facility. The positions right now are located in Queens. You know how we love Queens. And that's in Belrose, Queens, right off the Grand Central Parkway, close to the Nassau County border. The other key position we have available is the supported employment supervisor. That person would be overseeing the day-to-day supervisions of delivering services to the workforce. Those are our individuals that like to go to work, and you would be monitoring their progress. So working closely with employers, as well as taking care of the training and billing. Again, that's a BA level position and 2 years of experience in the world of OPWDD. Last key position is an LPN. That person would be working with our residents, our individuals with special needs in a group home. The shift for that is 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. We're looking for someone with 1 year of hospital experience, self-starter, and can take initiative and be able to have critical thinking 2 to 3 days per week. If you're interested in any of these positions that I have just listed for you, or have questions about working in the field of human services, you can reach me at mjenkins@queenscp.org. And also, for those who are just want to hear more about the world, or I should say direct support positions, because I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't do that. You'd be surprised. I'm extending my cell number. You can reach me at 646-341-1383. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to everybody out there.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. That was your direct sell, is what I heard. That is aggressive recruitment, and we're delighted you're doing that here in Queens. Thank you very much. Up next, we have Workforce One, the Queens Workforce One Career Center, returning here, recruiting for jobs in retail, sales, marketing, transportation. For folks who are still tuning in, we have a little over 300, actually well over 300 people here in the webinar chat room. We will open it up to Q&A, interactive Q&A momentarily. We have a no shortage of questions. Remind you, please enter your questions into the Q&A chat room. That is where we are centralizing the questions. If you keep it in the webinar chat room only, that is a guarantee that it will not be addressed. Up next, again, Workforce One, we returning our Senior Community Relations Manager, Nancy Conopel, as well as the Site Lead Account Manager, Christine Nunez. Welcome back. You're on.
Thank you so much, Borough President Lee. This is our third virtual recruitment event, and we've gotten great responses about this from Queens residents. And as you know, we are always adding and changing our jobs weekly and monthly, so this is really a great opportunity for us. As President Lee said, I am the Senior Community Relations Manager for the Queens workforces in Far Rockaway, Flushing, as well as Jamaica. Our mission is to service, prepare, and help New Yorkers to find jobs. Our free services are offered in every borough at the Workforce One Career Centers and include job listings, recruitment events, job search resources, veteran services, resume and interview workshops, and training opportunities. Like everyone else, all our services are free right now. And the link to create an account with the Workforce and register and access all our free services virtually is www.nyc.gov /workforce1. That's the number 1. And I will drop it into the chat box. Again, thank you so much. And my colleague, Christine Nunez, is going to go into a few more details about the array of jobs we have today.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Queens Borough President Lee, and panelists and participants for having Workforce One here. We definitely strive to assist our community, and I am fortunate and honored to represent 3 of our centers located in Flushing, Queens, Jamaica, Queens, as well as the Far Rockaway Workforce One Career Centers. We are providing services not only to individuals seeking employment, but as well as employers. And all of our services are free. And we are constantly working virtually, remotely to assist not only our partners, our community partners, but as well as our job seekers. So right now, a lot of our opportunities that we have is with supermarkets. Many supermarkets throughout Queens areas, whether it's Ridgewood, Astoria, Far Rockaway, Jamaica, Queens, they're all over seeking qualified candidates, entry-level positions as well as skilled. So there's cashier opportunities, stock, assistant store manager employment opportunities. And we are looking to pair our candidates with our employers. So we have many supermarkets. The pay can be between $15 to $20 an hour, just depending on what position. If you're looking for part-time, full-time, the supermarkets have all of the availability and working with candidates in order to ensure that the community is still striving and the supermarkets are fulfilled. We are also working with a COVID testing site. They are opening up next week in the Long Island City area. They have a couple positions, but their main one that they're really looking for is site managers and assistant site managers. So for those positions, it's having management experience, being able to manage a team of 30 to 40 staff members, as well as being able to feel comfortable in an environment where you may be in contact with COVID patients, individuals who have the symptoms. So we are working diligently with that organization. They have immediate needs. So if anyone is seeking an opportunity as a site manager or assistant site manager, some of the qualifications is they prefer a degree. They do prefer, it is required that you have management experience, at least 2 to 3 years, being able to manage 3 to 4 staff members, enforcing protocols, procedures, and being able to compile reports as well as conduct meetings. So it's a Monday through Saturday operation, and they immediately have a need. I am also working with a couple different organizations that are looking for home health aides, whether you're certified or uncertified. So depending what your situation is, if you are seeking to become a home health aide, we can do a training and we'll match you up with the best organization depending on what borough you live in, just to reduce any transportation cost, as well as not having to really use MTA or anything like that. So a lot of those positions can be around $15 an hour. It's part-time, full-time, depending what you're seeking. Typically, the trainings are 3 weeks to become a home health aide. It is unpaid, but afterwards you immediately obtain employment. And a home health aide certificate
Ms. Nunez, I think we're having a little bit of connectivity issues. If you can hear us. We lost you for the last 15 seconds.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So those are some of the opportunities that we have with our organizations.
We lost you at those are the opportunities we have for organizations.
Reach out.
Wonderful.
Yes, I believe she's telling them to register in the website that I just dropped into the chat area.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you,
Sorry
Ms.
to everyone.
Conable. That's all good. Thank you, Ms. Conable. Thank you, Ms. Nunez. And please stand by. We're going to open up to Q&A very, very shortly. Again, up next, returning but still and very much critical to our future here in the Borough of Families is the United States Census Bureau. We put in a plug earlier at the top of the hour about Census. If you haven't already, my2020census.gov, fill that out, make sure that we are fully counted here in Queens. But the Census Bureau is hiring because we're trying to make sure we are fully counted. And so returning with us again from the United States Census Bureau's New York Regional Census Center, or Census Office, I should say, is the Assistant Regional Census Manager, Ms. Jennifer Dublin. Ms. Dublin, welcome back. You're on.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to the participants for joining us. Of course, thank you to the panelists for sharing all of this important information, but especially I want to thank the Queensborough President and also her team for being such a supporter of the census and also, fully understanding, why it's so important to our particular community. Although the census is underway and it is happening across the 50 states, the census is not successful unless it is conducted on a local level. And that is why it is so important for not only every single one of you listening to go to 2020census.gov and fill out your census, but also to join us for census jobs. As you know, we need to have a robust, diverse workforce that is a reflection of the community in which we live in. It is so important for us to hire different ages, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. We're looking for people that speak and represent every ethnicity and every language in the city. So it's key for us to attract and recruit people from every walk of life. The census is a great way for you to earn some extra money while actually serving your community as well. All of our jobs are part-time, extremely flexible. Our pay rate is $28 per hour. So during a time where many people are out of work or, are maybe their second job or maybe even their third job is not open, this is an excellent time for people with, extra time in their day to commit to their community and also make some significant cash in the same amount of time. So I just want everyone to go to 2020census.gov/jobs. And 2020census.gov/jobs is 24 hours. It's a very short application and assessment. You only need to be 18 to qualify to work for the census. So anybody can go online at any point at any device that connects to the internet and apply for a census job. We do not ask for a resume or work history or references. It is a very short process. And after you complete the process, you're actually in our applicant pool for the duration of the 2020 census. So as jobs come up, we will reach out to you all and see if you're interested in our positions. And just so you all know, of course, the census is very public facing. So there are things that we are doing in the census to make sure that we're adhering to social distancing. Certain things like limited class time. We're going to be giving all of our workers PPE so that they're protected when they're in the field. So we want to just ease some concerns regarding that as well. The census will take precautions to ensure the safety of not only the respondents, but also for the people working for us. We also have some other positions available at usajobs.gov. If you go to usajobs.gov and search census, you will be able to find some of our managerial positions on that website. So again, 2020census.gov/jobs. You'll take a short assessment and also complete a very short application. And again, for everyone who's listening, please, my2020census.gov, 844-330-2020. You can call, you can go online, or you can send your questionnaire back in the mail. So thank you all. I know there are going to be so many questions regarding the census, but I have to let you know, we are still paused as far as operations. So I know so many people have gotten calls, you've been selected, you've done your fingerprints. We have not forgotten about you. So we will be in touch very soon to resume with our training and get you into the field. Thank you all, and thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you, Ms. Dublin. And again, one way, we've said this before, one of the ways that we can fight back against the virus and against this pandemic is being fully counted in the census. It is our way to fight back. Let us not let COVID-19 and this pandemic silence our voices and render us invisible here in the borough of Queens. And, you know, folks who are tuning in, you know, you may be looking for a job, but know that we need you. We need you to fill these jobs, especially in the census, but all the jobs that we're talking about today. So that brings me to our next presenter, and we have 2 more presentations, and then we will open it up to Q&A, I promise you. I know that we have well over 80 questions, and we're going to race them as quickly as possible and as thoroughly as possible. But second to last, we've got returning with us here, WatchGuard 247. These are security opportunities here in the borough of Queens. They are returning because they are eager and committed to hiring here in the borough of families. We are joined today by both the Director of Human Resources and Corporate Compliance, Francis Velasquez, but also the CEO, John Rafferty, which is a reflection of his and his company's commitment to hiring in Queens. So with that, you're on. Welcome, WatchGuard.
Thank you, Borough President. Thank you very much to everybody on the panel and having us back here again today. So we're not a company that's just hiring currently. We're consistently hiring. We're in business for 11 years. We've had some tremendous growth in 11 years. We've almost doubled in size every year since we started. And what we look for people who are looking to build careers. You know, we're looking for some of our team members who have gone from a security guard to a field supervisor to an account manager. And that's what we're looking for. You know, we're looking for people who want to get into the security field, which is a very interesting, a very demanding, but very rewarding field as well. And that's kind of why I'm here. You know, I used to be involved with the hiring directly in the past. We have a recruitment department headed by our HR director, Francis Velasquez. But I like getting on these things because I want people to see me. We have a great team at WatchGuard 24/7. The culture is something that we work at very hard, that we want people to realize, from the security guard that's holding post all the way to the VPs and the COO. Everybody's just as important, right? It's a team effort. And that's kind of why we're here today, is to try to get some people that are interested in this field. So thank you very much for having us. And Francis, I'll turn it over to you to talk about what openings we have.
Thank you, Dawn. Absolutely. And thank you, Borough President Lee, attendees. This is an amazing event. WatchGuard is one of the fastest growing security companies in New York and New Jersey. We're always looking for qualified, motivated people to join our various divisions. Currently, what we are recruiting for is security console, that's CCTV. We are recruiting for our construction division. We have openings in our field team. We're looking for a security concierge. This is also in the 5 boroughs. We're looking for dispatchers. We hire security guards for special events. We hire in New Jersey also. We're looking for security officers. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, I'm putting all our contact information in the chat. Reach out to our recruiting department and we can get things going. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Borough President, Queens Chamber, and a special thank you to Workforce One, who actually helps us quite a bit with our
partners. Well. Absolutely.
Thank you, folks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Velasquez. Thank you, Mr. Rafferty. And last but not least, also from Workforce One, we've got returning with us, and so another reflection of their commitment to hire here in Queens. We've got the Community Partner Coordinator, Sarah Tapia, and Account Manager, Leonidas Korakaias. We have you on.
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, thank you so much, Borough President. As always, it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you to your staff as well for everything that you do. Just like the Queens Workforce One mentioned earlier, we are providing virtual services at this time for job seekers. So connecting job seekers to employment opportunities, to needed career services virtually as well. The Industrial and Transportation Career Center specializes in opportunities in construction, manufacturing, warehousing, transportation, both non-CDL and CDL positions, and aviation services as well. So 2 positions that I do want to quickly highlight. We are looking for a number of delivery drivers. The pay rate for this position is $16.50 an hour. It's a non-CDL position. You must have previous delivery experience. and be able to start an early shift. So that would include from 5:30 to 2 p.m. and have availability to work on the weekends as well. And we are looking for a number of forklift operators and warehouse workers at this time too. So that the pay rate is $17 an hour. You must at least have 6 months of forklift experience combined with warehouse experience as well. And the shifts for that position is open availability. I am also here with my colleague and account manager from our Queens-based Jamaica Center for the Industrial and Transportation System, Leon Korahais, who will talk a little bit more about some of the aviation services and transportation support jobs that we have at this time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you very much, Queensborough President Lee, for having us here and hosting this event. My name is Leon Korahais. I'm an account manager with Workforce One Industrial and Transportation for the last 5 years. And prior to that, I spent 25 years at the airport. So all I can do is talk to you about airport jobs endlessly. And I recruit for the airports full-time. I'm going to talk about what I'm looking right now. We're still looking for people. I'm looking for ramp agents, full-time, 40 hours, depending on contractor place, anywhere from $16 to $19 an hour. I'm looking for warehouse workers, both full-time and part-time. I'm looking for a few data entry, customer service agents, and I'm always looking for some good supervisors and managers. Outside of the airport, I'm looking for food couriers, I'm looking for bikers, and I'm looking for drivers to do food deliveries. Please send me your resumes. I promise I'll look every single one of them and I'll answer, and I'll call you and answer every single one of them. Thank you very much for having me.
And we will share our contact information in the chat as well.
Thank you. And our team at Borough Hall will try to capture the contact information in the chat room and add them into the webpage, queensbp.org/recruitment fair, where we have our list of speakers, featured employers and recruiters for today's recruitment fair. Thank you again, Ms. Tapia. Welcome back, and Mr. Korahais, very good to see you. Glad that you're joining us for these job fairs. And you know what? I was remiss. I skipped over one. It must have been meant to be because they may be last, but certainly not least. And again, all of these jobs are absolutely critical to our recovery and our rebuild here in Queens, to the future of our borough. Last but not least is the Child Center of New York. They are returning, and so again, a reflection of their commitment and their aggressiveness in hiring in Queens. We have the recruitment coordinator, Shoshana Chetty. Ms. Chetty, you're on.
Great. Thank you, Borough President Lee, and thank you to your staff for putting this together. My name is Shoshana Chetty. I am the recruitment coordinator at the Child Center. The Child Center started in 1953 as a children's counseling center, and then as Queens grew, we've grown with the community. We service over 35,000 children and their families each year, and we work out of approximately 70 different site locations. We have 4 main program areas that we deal with, ranging from behavioral health, which are our clinics, to early childhood education, which are our Head Start programs. We have youth development, which are after-school programs, cornerstone community-based programs, and school-based mental health. And then we have a health homes division, which is actually, or what was going into the homes and providing services to the children and their families as needed, which obviously right now is remote in this at this time. So we are currently looking for full-time master social workers, full-time licensed master social workers, full-time mental health workers, which is similar to the case planner position. We have a couple of full-time preschool teacher positions available and full-time parent advocate positions. We are also looking for per diem psychosocial rehabilitation specialists, other licensed practitioners, and peer advocates. All right, thanks for having us. I'll put my the website information in the chat feature.
Thank you, Ms. Chetty, and thank you for continuing your commitment, and welcome back. We're so glad you are a fixture in our job fairs. And that concludes the speakers of the program. We will open up to Q&A. As I mentioned, we've been doing this, by we, I mean Queens. We've been doing this every 3 weeks on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Today is our 3rd job fair. The next one, mark your calendar, will likely be June 24, but wait until we do do post that. I'd like to take this opportunity real quick to thank my team here at Borough Hall. Certainly, this job fair would not have happened without them. Sharon Anderson, my Director for Economic Development. Carolina Gill, the voice of God you may have heard earlier, but also she's also one of my fiscal officers. Chris Barca, Aldo Grillo, Michael Scholl, John Paraconi, Dorothy Pafumi, and of course my Chief of Staff, Vicki Morales Casella. And with that, we're going to open up to Q&A. Reminder to folks who are logged in, we still have a little over 300 people logged in. We have over 80 questions that we want to zoom through. People who are entering their questions into the webinar chat, we're going to ask you to bring that over into the Q&A chat in this Zoom application. I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Anderson and Ms. Gill to facilitate the Q&A.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Borough President. Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Anderson, Director of Economic Development for the Borough President's Office, and I'm leading questions this afternoon. So any of you can answer this particular question. Is there any, Stephen Alvarez is asking, is there any opportunities for IT in any of the positions from any of the organizations? Can someone answer that? IT position, anyone? Okay.
We are actually, because we just moved to distance learning on our campus, we are actually looking for some IT positions. So I did put my email in the chat, so you're welcome to send me your resume and will forward that on to the department, because I know that they are actively looking for people currently to transition a lot of our courses for the summer and some for the fall online.
Okay, thank you. And that was Queen College.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Duperval. And I'm sorry, Ms. Anderson. If I may ask our panelists, when you answer any of the questions, just identify yourself, like the firm or the company or the employment. On the Zoom, we see your name, but we don't see, people may not remember, we do have over a dozen panelists here, employers and recruiters. So thank you very much. Back to you, Ms. Anderson.
Sure, thank you. Lionel Brown is asking, the US Open, what is the background check for any of the positions at the US Open? How friendly is the background check?
Sure, I can. How friendly is it? Is that?
Yeah.
It's very friendly. The background check is pretty simple. It's just a criminal background check. It usually comes back after you submit your information within an hour.
Oh, okay, that's pretty quickly. Thank you very much.
Pretty painless.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, and so are there any food and beverage opportunities for an executive chef, or is there a position like that? Maybe, I guess the US Open maybe would have something like that, or Workforce One?
The US Open, we work with outside vendors. And so you can check the USTA website. I think if you go to the US Open area, you can find links to those vendors.
Okay. Contact Tracer 1 and 2. What's the difference between those two positions? That's for Annabelle Palmer.
Sure. Thank you for the question. The difference is supervisory and folks that we will have on the ground doing the calling and the door-to-door work that we need to identify individuals who have been exposed.
Okay, wonderful. Are those positions temporary positions?
Those positions as of now is for the length of the program. We see the program going through at least 24 months, but the goal is to have this program until we find a vaccine and we get everyone tested.
Okay, we have several more questions about contact tracing, so I'll move on and then I'll come back to you again, okay? All right, thank you. Let's see. Okay, so I'm running into more questions. Okay, I'll give another one to you, Annabelle. What are the requirements for that position? For contact?
Sure, you have to be a New York City resident. You have to complete our online COVID-19 contact tracing training program and have a satisfactory equivalent combination of education and experience.
Okay, thank
Sharon,
you.
I have a question if I may jump in.
Sure.
This is for a lot of students, international students that are now here and can't travel. Are there any opportunities for international students that you guys are offering? This could be for anyone. Okay, unfortunately, that is a no.
I think I'm going, and I can get more information, but if the student is living in New York City, I'm quite sure. And in the communities that we are serving and trying to, do the outreach in, I'm sure that there will be opportunities for them, but I can get you a more concrete answer in regards to the students who are from out of town.
Thank you.
I have a question for probably CAO and Workforce One. Airline opportunities. Are there any positions that are directly from the airlines, or is it just on airport jobs that you have?
Good afternoon again. This is Verdia Noel. I'm Business Director of Development for New York, Council for Airport Opportunity. We do have several positions that we would refer you to, which are connected to the airlines. As I mentioned earlier, there has been a hiring freeze due to the coronavirus. However, we're seeing some activity coming back. And those positions, when they're available, will be open to you who are viewing today. So we encourage you to register now and go through the pre-screening process and understand the documents that are required for the employment process, so that when the airlines are ready, you'll be ready, and we'll have you made aware of the dates and times when those recruitments start.
Excellent. Queens Center for Progress, could you kindly just tell people how to apply for your positions? We did put it in the chat, but if you can just rephrase, thank you.
You can email your resume directly to mjenkins@queenscp.org, or you can call me directly at 646-341-1383.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are any of you guys hiring youth for the summer or anytime?
No summer jobs, no summer youth employment?
Although I thought I heard someone say, because there was a question in here, I see a 17-year-old about to turn 18 years old over the summer, has work experience with SIAP, and customer service is one of her specialties, Sahar Hussein. Anyone who knows of any opportunities for this soon to be 18-year-old?
Yes. Oh. I'll be more than happy to help him once he turns over 18. I have a couple of customer service jobs at the airport, but you have to be 18. So as soon as you can email me your resume with your information, and as soon as you're 18, I'll be more than glad to help you.
And with the census, you can submit your application if you're 17. It will qualify you once you turn 18. So 17-year-olds can submit an application and assessment for census jobs as well.
Okay. Jennifer, can I add to that? The duration of the census positions, do you have a time frame for the census positions?
Well, our census operations have been pushed back. So the majority of the jobs will be the field positions, and those will end probably around October. So we'll gear up in the next month or two, and then we'll be in the field for a few months. But the expectation is the majority of our work will be done close to the end of October.
Excellent. Francis, could you remind our audience how to apply? A few people are asking.
For WatchGuard, I put our email address to our recruiting department. Just email the recruiter and he'll connect with you, time and date, and to fill out an application.
Okay, thank you.
Sharon, if I may jump in, for all our panelists, when you're typing your information in the chat, make sure that it is checked under all panelists and attendees. Some of your comments are just being seen by the panelists. I've been copying and pasting so the attendees can see them. But if you could just keep that in mind, that would be great. Thank you.
Does anyone have any positions? I guess this would be for Workforce One for Amazon. Is there any positions?
This is Nancy from the Queens Workforce, and yes, we are currently working with Amazon for a few positions. I am going to put the account manager's name in the chat room right now.
Okay, thank you. I'd just like to add that unfortunately we didn't have our representative from the health division of Workforce One today with us. He was unable to join us. You know, but you can contact Workforce One and inquire for Francesca Bergiano, who inquired about dental hygienist positions. Okay, more.
I have a question. Are there any opportunities for licensed speech therapists for someone that has experience already working with children?
No.
Would this be for Shoshana, maybe, or no?
Possibly.
We don't hire licensed speech therapists.
Thank you.
Okay, does someone have a position in facilities management? No.
Oh, I would encourage the facilities management person to send their resume over to me or apply to one of the positions on the USTA website.
Okay, thank you.
Going back to you for the US Open, will applicants who are on parole be able to work for the
Yes, people can send in applications and go through the background authorization, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is for WatchGuard. Do you need a security guard license to work for WatchGuard 24/7?
Yes, to work as a security guard in the state of New York, you do need to have a security guard license. If you reach out to me, you can email me. I can give you the steps on what to do in order to get that license.
Okay, thank you. Hazel Rule, she's pre-trained as a teacher for over 20 years. Does someone have a position for her in a children's classroom?
Hi, it's Shoshana from the Child Center. If she has experience teaching pre-K, we are looking for 2 pre-K teachers, one in Woodside and one in Corona.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is for, I guess, most of you. Any of the positions that you're hiring for are for remote working?
So again,
it's Nancy from Queens Workforce. Not at this time, but we are definitely looking in and speaking to some companies about working remotely from the home. So we might have some in the near future.
I have someone is Oide is asking for Queens Center for Progress. What are the requirements for DSP and how to apply? Yes.
Direct support professionals requires a high school diploma or GED, and we would prefer a New York State driver's license for 3 years. And they can apply at mjenkins@queenscp.org.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just reviewing the positions. Queens Center, the Child Center for New York. Do you hire New Jersey residents?
Yes, for certain positions though, it would require being licensed in New York State. So for instance, the licensed master social worker position, you'd have to have a New York State license.
Okay, thank you. Okay, someone has only a social security number but is waiting on their resident alien card. Can they apply for the census positions? Jennifer?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, you can. You can apply to a census job even if you are not a citizen. Please make sure that when applying to census jobs, indicate any language that you speak, read, or write. That's going to be key when we're looking for specific people for specific communities. So when applying to census jobs, please make sure that you always include any dialects or any specific languages that you speak.
Excellent. Francis, Mid-Hogue, he has an expired security guard license. Can he work until it is renewed?
No, unfortunately, in the state of New York, you're not allowed to work with an expired license, but you do have up to 6 months to get the license renewed. So I would recommend getting on that process right away, and then we can go ahead and hire you.
Okay, thank you.
Here's a question for the contact tracing position. Do they require to have a positive antibody result?
No. For the person that's applying for the job?
Correct. Do they have to have a positive, would they have to test positive for antibodies?
No.
Okay.
No, just New York City residency, completion of the COVID tracing program, satisfactory equivalent of education and or experience, and live within, your community.
Sorry, did you say they have to be 18 years older?
Well, yes, they have to be 18, but we want people from the community.
Got it.
Okay, do we have any local 1199 positions? Is anyone hiring Workforce One? Is anyone hiring for a local 1199 today?
Not any unions right now.
Okay.
The Child Center actually is hiring 1199 mental health workers.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any positions in the corporate transportation industry? Okay, we'll move on to the next question.
I have a question for Annabelle. This Arnie applied for a contact tracer position through the New York State initiative, and he hasn't heard back yet. Is there a way to follow up? Do you know?
I am working with the New York City Testing and Tracing Corps, and so if he's interested again in applying for a position with New York City, he should go to the website that we've been posting on the chat. Okay. I can try to see if we can get him a response for the state, but our program is geared for New York City.
So is this, is your program different from, or are you taking people who were trained by Johns Hopkins University?
Yes, yes, our training program goes through this John Hopkins training.
So if they're almost finished with that, then they can expect to
correct.
Find follow-up, have follow-up, and then they'll be hired, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Do any of you have an opportunity for a bilingual school counselor at the moment?
We're actually at the Child Center, we are looking for Spanish speaking, either LMSW or LMHC, and it's based at Long Island City High School.
Thank you.
Okay, we have to input some of the links. We have some queries about the US Open, some more about the contact tracing positions, but we can certainly dive in and add those links to those individuals' questions.
I apologize if this was asked as I was reading through some questions when some were being answered. The New York City contract tracing, is that the same as the CUNY Relief Corps for tracers?
We're all working together under the same umbrella.
Okay.
And someone's asking about the community engagement specialist. Is this for remote work? I don't mention
no,
that.
our right now, most of the jobs available that we're focusing on are work in communities. They are not remote jobs. So, and you will, most likely be placed in your community. Again, this program is about building trust, about making sure that people understand the importance of getting tested. And so we need those community engagement specialists to be in the community.
Okay, Amal is asking about cyber security and computers. Does anyone have any positions around cyber security and computers? No? Okay.
Are all the opportunities that you guys have now all based in Queens?
We're in the 5 boroughs.
We are also working in the 5 boroughs.
We also have opportunities in New Jersey as well.
My food career positions are based in Manhattan.
And many of our driving opportunities are also based throughout all the 5 boroughs as well.
But you're here recruiting in Queens, right? The best borough. Just had to put in that plug. We're reaching the 3:27 p.m. Mark. We want to be very respectful of your time. You've been very generous with it. I am going to extend this job fair to 3:45. We do have a little over 200 participants still in the room, and we do have over 100 questions. So we're going to still go through them. But for panelists, again, we recognize that your time is precious. You've been very generous with it. You are most welcome to stay on to answer these questions. But if you must go, we will perfectly understand. We will not hold it against you. We're deeply grateful for your time. And again, to folks who may have tuned in since we started, we are on queensbp.org/recruitment fair. Some of the contact information is in that webpage. And for folks, the panelists who, if I'm going to ask you to take a look at that page, see if the information is correct. If you don't see your contact information or information that you want on there, please shoot Ms. Anderson an email. We will get that up before end of day or as quickly as possible upon receipt. Back to Ms. Anderson and Ms. Gill for the Q&A for an extended until 3:45 Eastern. Thank you.
Someone has a question. Do any of you have any jobs in the creative field?
No. Jennifer Young, guest number 4, was offered a job with the Census in 2019, but he had another job. And so he now needs a job. And so he's wondering if he can be reconsidered for that.
Yeah, so I saw that question. I think my phone is kind of freezing up, but anyone who's applied can go back into their applicant portal and it will tell you if you're available. And if you're available, that means that if a job comes up, you will be in our applicant pool. If we called you for a job and you said no, and then the follow-up question is, do you want to be removed from all census jobs? Then we've updated your account to reflect that. So I just want to make sure you go onto your application and determine whether or not you decline that particular position and are still available, or if you decline all future census positions. So we can help you with that as well.
Okay, could you remind us again, Jennifer, what it is that the US Census is doing to protect against COVID?
Sure. So we have changed our training structure. We normally would have large training classes with maybe 20 or 30 people sitting classroom style for several days. We've taken the majority of our training to an online platform. So anyone who works for the census will meet up with their supervisor to receive their device and other materials. And then they would go home and do their training. And then after that, they would enter the field and begin their field work. And we're also providing PPE to all of our field and office staff to ensure that they are safe as well.
Okay, thank you. I believe this might be for either, if not Leonidas, then Verdia from Council for Airport Opportunity. Do you have a dispatcher position? And do you need an FAA dispatcher license for a dispatcher position on airport?
We do have a dispatcher position. You don't need an FAA license for that position. It is actually associated with one of our transportation employers. So instead of working with or directing aircraft, it will be mostly directing vehicle transportation.
Okay. And you did say that you have some ramp agents positions available, right?
We have several ramp agent positions available, and we're recruiting now, and those jobs are on airport.
Okay.
Also, if the person is looking for an aircraft dispatcher, please forward me your resume, and it depends on the position if you need the license or the FAA license or not.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I think, do you have any questions, Carolina?
I do. I have one for Shoshana, but I think it just disappeared. It was regarding someone that just graduated, but didn't have a master's degree, but it is no longer showing up in my question, so I do apologize. I'll move on to this one. And I don't think we talked about this, and I don't know if any of, if it's the correct field, but any opportunities for new graduate registered nurses?
No. They can apply through Workforce One, even though Angela Regalado is not here with us today, but Workforce One does have a health unit, and they have different health positions. So they can still pursue health positions through Workforce One.
Yes, it's actually the same link that I put into the chat room. They would just go to the same link for all the workforces.
Okay, thank you.
With with the Workforce One, do you guys have any opportunities in the entertainment or multimedia industries, such as film, social media, TV?
No, sorry, that is one field that we don't.
No, not at this time.
Okay. At this time, I think that's all the questions we have. A lot of people are asking for the links or the emails. We can go ahead and type those in for everybody. Do you see anything else, anybody?
All right, well, if there are no other questions, no need to hang out any longer than necessary unless you'd like to. We won't close it if you want to hang out, but I'm sure there's plenty to do. Again, thank you very much to everyone for your commitment to not just filling these jobs, but really strengthening our borough, our borough. We hope to see you again at our next job fair. We're hoping for June 24, but we will let you know probably within the week. Thank you again to my team at Borough Hall. Great work. And again, for folks who are still logged in, we have a little over 160 participants still logged in from the public. The information that you heard, the information about the panelists and the speakers today are on our website. queensbp.org/recruitment fair. And we will update the contact information, links that were mentioned over the course of this job fair. And we wish you all the best. And again, remember, all of these jobs are essential jobs. They are critical to our future. And so as much as you may need a job or you may want a job, know that we need you. So thank you for your interest. Thank you again, everyone. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yeah.